All right, this is where everything starts to lock in. When a judge says the defendant knowingly and voluntarily waived their rights, that's legal code for you agreed to this, and there's no easy way back, no confusion, no coercion, at least on paper. But here's the real question. Did the defendant truly understand what they just gave up?
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. And cause number 2025 CR 011960, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty.
And just like that, it's over. The word guilty hits fast, but its impact lasts for years. Notice how there's no dramatic pause, no hesitation. This is procedural, almost routine. But for the defendant, this is life-changing, 5 years on the line. Just like that.
The court will find you guilty. The court will find enhancements true based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments. Counsel, are you proceeding with sentencing?
We're prepared, Judge, yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client under that cause number?
No, ma'am.
Then in that cause number, the court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine. This will run concurrent with 2025 CR 011960. 2025 CR 011961. 2025 CR 011962. Take in consideration 2025 PF 16444, 2025 CR 010597, 2025 CC 009929, and there's to be no contact with U-Haul. Counsel, is there anything else with regards to sentencing in that cause number?
No, ma'am.
All right. In that cause number, did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
No.
Now this is critical, because this was a plea bargain. The defendant just lost the right to appeal. That means no second chances in a higher court unless something extreme happens. Think about it. Would you take a deal like that? Guaranteed sentence. But zero comeback?
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In cause number 2025 CR 01196, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty, and the court will find the enhancements true based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments. Counsel, do you wish to proceed with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, ma'am.
Then in that cause number, the court will follow your agreement. The court will find you guilty, sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine. This will run concurrent with 2025 CR 011960, 2025 CR 011961, 2025 CR 011962. Take in consideration 2025 PF 16444, 2025 CR 010597, 2025 CC 9929. And there's to be no contact with U-Haul and no contact with 14690 Petrenko Road 78245. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing under that cause number?
No, Judge.
For that cause number, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. We'll next proceed in cause number 2025 CR 011962. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find you guilty. The court will find the enhancements true based upon your plea are true and based upon State's Exhibits 1 and attachments. Are you proceeding with sentencing under that cause number?
We're prepared, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, ma'am.
Odyssey is moving a little bit slow. All right, in that case, the court will sentence you to
Notice the pattern here? Same charge structure, same sentence, same fines. This is what happens when multiple cases stack up but run concurrently. It sounds like a lot, but legally, it's actually controlled damage. Instead of stacking years on top of each other, they run at the same time, still. Prison is prison.
5 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine. This case will run concurrently with 2025 CR 011960, 2025 CR 011962, taking consideration 2025 PF 16444, 2025 CR 010597, 2025 CC 009929. And there should be no contact with U-Haul, no contact with DR Horton, no contact with 14690 Petranco Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78253. Anything else in regards to sentencing under that cause number? All right, in that cause number, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over a weapon or ammunition issue, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And counsel, I'll tender the cases that were taken in consideration to your client.
Thank you, Judge.
And State, I believe this is one that you all need. And sir, this is yours. All right, we can go off record. Mr. Rodriguez.
This right here? This isn't just sentencing, this is a warning shot. The judge is basically saying, this is your chance, because next time, there won't be one, and that line about 25 years minimum. That's not fear-mongering, that's reality.
Decision in your life. Do you want to be in prison for the rest of your life? There's always a place for accommodation for prison, right? People can starve, but guess what? We'll always have a prison for you. Do you understand?
Mm.
So you better change your ways. And while you're sitting over there doing your time, you need to ask yourself if this was all worth it. If it is, then you're going to end up in prison for the rest of your life. And if you were to be charged with a felony that is not a state jail felony, that's a third degree, your minimum is 25 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Mhm.
All right, good luck to you. You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Toshi.
Am I excused, Judge?
Yes.
I just want to say, laissez le bon temps rouler.
Thank you so very much. I feel like I'm at my second home already.
I hope I said that right.
No, you said it perfectly.
Oh, good.
And I always said, you know, if I run for president, there better be two states that I carry, Louisiana and Texas.
Whenever I pretend to speak French, I just say that, and it sounds like I speak French, so.
Oh, you do it beautifully.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. All righty, y'all have a great afternoon. Thank you.
All right, you too.
And just when you think it's over, a new case walks in, completely different stakes, and this one, it's about to get a lot more serious. We're now dealing with probation violations tied to a much more sensitive charge. Pay close attention because this situation is far more complicated than it looks.
All right, is this going to be contested?
No, Your Honor, we have an agreement.
All right, the court is calling 2023 CR 8191, State versus Akili Brooks Jr. Could I have parties announced for the record?
Rick Pena for the state of Texas.
Attorney Gay for Mr. Brooks.
And are you Mr. Brooks?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilty and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same
Kaylee.
Akili Brooks Jr. who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2023 CR 8191 for sexual assault of a child on January 24, 2024 for a term of 10 years. Is that you?
Correct, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, violation of condition number 29. On or about the 26th day of September 2025 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Michaela Makeba Brooks Jr., did then and have unsupervised contact with minors in violation of condition number 29.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Violation of condition number 29, on or about the 26th day of September 2025 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant, Michaela Makeba Brooks Jr., did then and have unsupervised contact with minors in violation of condition number 29.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State will waive the remaining violations, Your Honor.
Any objections to the waivers?
No objection.
Did you understand by pleading true to 29 and 29, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violations 29 and 29?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find 29 and 29 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, there is. The agreement is to grant the state's motion, revoke the defendant's probation, adjudicate him guilty, and sentence the defendant to 7 years TDC.
That is the recommendation, Your Honor. And if, whenever I can speak as to my client pled true to those two allegations, and they are true, but just so the court knows that those are his own children, which, just so the court knows, based upon the charge, that they weren't other children. I just want the court to know that these are his own children. The court had granted him supervised contact. But he did violate those conditions.
Why?
His wife moved to Spokane, which is right next to Idaho, and left the children here. She moved there so she could, there was a housing, she had an opportunity to get housing for a year. And she went over there to do that and left her kids here, which caused a great problem with the children, and I was going to take care of them. And his father was helping, but his father also works. So, and he did have, you don't babysit your own kids. Those are your own kids. So he was watching his own kids. And one of the times was his father went to church and did not take the youngest child, leaving the youngest child with him. So it was those circumstances. He doesn't really have the support. All the support is actually in Spokane, where his mom, relatives, aunts, uncles, grandmother, all those relatives live there. And only he has a father here. So that caused a lot of problems. And as the court knows, sex offender requirements are there for a reason, an important reason, but they're also very expensive. And so he has this issue about being around his own kids, but the court made it very clear, my understanding made it very clear that it was to be supervised contact with his kids.
And where are the children now?
The children reside in Spokane. Their mother, when we were here for the first time, Your Honor, and that was one of the things that his probation officer here and I discussed is the kids should be with their mom, shouldn't be here, because that would help free him up. Then the family bought airline tickets and got the kids in Spokane with the mom. So the kids aren't here anymore. So that's what happened there. And then, so that problem was solved, but then we are here before you. So we solved one problem, but we're here before you for these violations.
I don't understand why that hadn't been worked out before, and I don't understand any parent leaving their children when they know they shouldn't leave them. Maybe Child Protective Services should be involved, but
I spoke to father, I spoke to mother of the children. So what I'm telling you is, you know, I did investigate all of those things to try to do the best job I could to help him on this probation. But now we're here.
This entire courtroom session shows how fast the system moves once decisions are made. Plea deals, waived rights, stacked cases, it's all strategic. But the bigger question is, were these fair outcomes or just efficient ones? Let me know what you think.